Hello everybody, Inter back again with another video. And today guys, I'm going to talk about a topic that has haunted me over the years, that has made me wondered over the years why it is like this and what are the reasons. And the topic that I want to talk about today, and the topic that has haunted me over the years as a Federer fan, is why is that Roger Federer has lost 20 tennis matches in his career where he has had match points. I know that a lot of tennis players in the ATP Tour loses tennis matches after they have match points. Roger Federer is definitely not the only one, but he has lost, in my opinion, way too many matches, people. It's 20 matches where he has had match points. He has lost too many matches to be called Roger Federer, because Roger Federer is not any regular player. We all know that he is one of the greatest of all time, people, with the most Grand Slam titles of all time, with 20 Grand Slam titles. So this has made me curious why Roger Federer has lost so many tennis matches, 20 all in all, where he has had match points. And in general, why he loses a lot of set points as well, and why he doesn't convert a lot of break points as well. What are the reasons to this? And I'm going to do a top 5 list today in this video why I believe are the reasons to this that has happened to Roger Federer throughout his tennis career. And we're gonna start with number 5 reason, and we're gonna go higher, number 4, number 3, and so on. Number 5 as the least likely cause. Number 5 is least likely cause. And number 1, of course, as the most likely cause to this that has happened to Roger Federer throughout his tennis career. Why he has lost 20 tennis matches where he has had match points, and why he has lost a lot of tennis matches where he has had set points, and why he doesn't convert break points so many times in his career. At least he doesn't convert break points as many times as Novak Djokovic and Rafa Nadal do, for sure, etc, etc. And we're gonna talk about this today, and I'm gonna give you my reasons, my top 5 reasons to that, people. And we're gonna start with number 5 reason. All right, people, let's do this now. On number 5 place on this of the reasons why Federer has lost so many tennis matches, 20 all in all, where he has had match point, is that I strongly believe Federer has that unconsciously cockiness, people. I am not saying that Federer does underestimate his opponents. I absolutely doesn't say that, because of course he respects all his opponents, and he of course knows that he can lose to them, but he has that deep inside of him, that unconscious cockiness, people. He wants to beat them in his own way, in his own terms, people. He doesn't want to change much in his game, people. He doesn't want to play tennis on the opponent's terms, to go too much on his opponent's weaknesses. I'm definitely sure that he knows his opponent's weaknesses, because Roger Federer is an intelligent tennis player, but he doesn't care so much about that, because he has so high beliefs in his abilities that he thinks that I'm gonna beat this guy on my own way, on my own terms, with my own weapons. And he doesn't change much when he faces some of his opponents. And I have proof to that, people. I'm going to give you some proof to that. I'm going to give you an example when he faced Del Potro in US Open 2017 quarterfinals. We all know that Del Potro's backhand is much weaker than his forehand. Del Potro's forehand is a huge weapon. It's one of the greatest forehands that we have on the game. But Roger Federer didn't care so much about that. He was targeting, he was not hammering Del Potro's backhand. He was not punishing Del Potro's backhand. He was hitting his shots both in Del Potro's forehand and in Del Potro's backhand. He was not constantly going only for Del Potro's backhand, because he doesn't. He has that unconsciously cockiness I'm talking about, and that I'm having as number 5 on this list, as the reason why Roger Federer loses a lot of matches where he has had match points. 20 matches all in all he has lost, and why he loses a lot of set points, and why he doesn't convert a lot of break points. At least he is not even near as converting break points as Nadal and Djokovic are. Because he has that unconsciously cockiness, people. He really has. I have seen it so many times. I have followed Roger Federer's career since 2001, really. The first time I saw Roger Federer play tennis, it was against Pistol Pete in Wimbledon 2001, and when he beat Pistol Pete. And since then, I've been stuck in Roger Federer, people. It is 18 years, if I'm counting right. So I have seen it, people. I have seen it when Roger Federer has that unconsciously cockiness. He doesn't punish his opponent's weaknesses, even though he knows them, of course. He definitely knows them. I know that he knows them. But he wants to beat them in his own way, in his own terms. And that has cost him a lot of matches throughout his tennis career, people. And that Del Potro match in US Open 2017, in quarterfinals, it was definitely one of them. If we compare Roger Federer with Nadal, when Del Potro, he defeated Roger Federer in that quarterfinal match in US Open 2017. Then Del Potro faced Nadal in the semifinal. We all remember how Nadal approached that match, people. We all do. He punished Del Potro's backhand. He made Del Potro suffer from that side. He didn't allow Del Potro to hit basically any forehands, people. 8 of 10 shots were going to Del Potro's backhand, people. Because Nadal, he doesn't have that unconscious cockiness. In my opinion, Nadal is the most humble tennis player of all time. That is my opinion. You can even hear that in his interviews. Sometimes the journalists ask him, do you want to face Djokovic or Nadal in the final? He said, he is so brutal honest. I love him. I love Nadal's interviews, really, people. Because he doesn't care that millions of people are watching him. He doesn't even care that Djokovic and Roger Federer are watching him as well. He says, he's honest, people. He says, I don't want to face Djokovic or Federer in the finals. I'm not stupid. I prepare easier opponents, of course. But if they are in the final, I will handle the challenge. I will take the challenge. I will face them and I will try to beat them. But do I prefer other opponents in the finals? Yes, of course I do. Do we ever hear Roger Federer say words like that? No, I have never heard him, people. Even when Roger Federer was going to those French Open finals and faced Nadal, he never said, I don't want to face Nadal. He never said that. Yeah, I know he doesn't want to look weak, and he doesn't want to give Nadal the edge and look afraid from the Spaniard. But we all know, people, the truth, people. We all know that these guys are not rooting for each other. These guys don't want to face each other in the big finals, people. We all know that. So you can at least be, once in a while, be honest. And Roger Federer has never said in an interview, I don't want to face Nadal or I don't want to face Djokovic in the finals. He always, he doesn't have the same humble mindset like Nadal has. In my opinion, Nadal is the most humble tennis player I ever seen, and he's the most honest player I ever seen. But I don't want to go out from the topic. Anyway, number 5 reason for me in this list why Roger Federer has lost so many tennis matches where he have had match points, 20 tennis matches all in all, is that he has that unconscious cockiness, people. He really has. He doesn't go. He wants to beat his opponents in his own way. Even back in the years where he was losing so many matches against Nadal, back in the years, 7 to 10 years back in the time, he was sobered and he was slicing a lot of balls, people. We all know that Nadal is the master of taking those slices. Roger Federer's slice is great, people. In my opinion, probably the greatest slice shots that we have ever seen. Nobody hits slice shots like Federer do. And that can disturb a lot of people. Even Djokovic sometimes, those slices really hurt Djokovic sometimes, especially on grass. But not Nadal, people. Nadal just takes those balls low and just hits winners, people. And Roger Federer, he didn't stop slicing back in the years. And he just continued to slice, and Nadal was just punishing him and beating him, people. till 2017, where Roger Federer defeated Nadal for the first time in 10 years in a Grand Slam match, in that epic Australian Open final 2017, where Roger Federer did realize that those slices doesn't hurt Nadal, and then he defeated Nadal in 3-2 in that epic final that we all remember, and he defeated him 3 more times the same year in Indian Wells, in Miami, and in Shanghai, and he did that with not slicing the ball so much. So Roger Federer doesn't like to change his game plan. He want to beat his opponents with in his own terms, and that to me is an unconscious cockiness. All right, we go to number 4th. Number 4th place on my list is people that Roger Federer has been simply unlucky in some of his matches where he has had match points. One match I remember at the moment is that 2011 US Open semi-final against Djokovic. Djokovic was already given up that he wasn't gonna win that match. Really, he said that afterwards in his interviews. I just was closing my eyes and hitting my returns as hard as I could, and hoping that they will win. And they did. And he saved those 2 match points, and then he won the match. So Roger Federer was unlucky in that match. This is one match that I can remember just at the moment. So some of his matches where he has lost after having match points, Roger Federer has been unlucky. His opponents have been playing amazing points. One of those matches was that 2011 US Open semi-final against Djokovic. That is my number 4th reason why Roger Federer has lost so many matches where he has had match points, and has lost many matches where he has had set points and has not converted break points, etc., etc. Number 3rd reason, people, is Roger Federer is mentally weak. And don't jump on this comment section, people, and say, oh, how can you say that a guy like Roger Federer is mentally weak? The guy has won 20 Grand Slam titles, has been in 30 Grand Slam finals. It is crazy to say that a guy like that is mentally weak. Yes, I agree. It is crazy to say. And I am not saying that he's mentally weak if we compare him with other players, if we compare him in general, if we compare him what he has done throughout his career. I know that I am not crazy, people. He's not mentally weak in general. But when I say mentally weak, I mean mentally weaker than Djokovic and Nadal. He definitely is weaker than his 2 main rivals, people. I know this, people. We all who look tennis and have watched this beautiful sport for so many years can see this. Djokovic and Nadal are stronger than Djokovic and Nadal are stronger than Federer mentally, people. That is my opinion anyway, and I don't know if you guys agree, but for me, Djokovic and Nadal are the mental beasts, the strongest mental player of all time. Which of those 2 are the mental toughest, or the mental strongest of those 2, Nadal or Djokovic? I may be gonna do a video later on and give my opinions on that, but Federer is definitely behind both of them mentally. And that's the number 3rd reason on my list why Roger Federer has lost so many matches where he has had match points and where he has had set points and break points, etc., etc. I am not saying that Novak Djokovic and Rafa Nadal has not lost matches where they never has lost matches where they have had match points. They have also done it, of course. Mostly of tennis players have done it. But if we compare Djokovic and Nadal with Federer, Federer has lost many more, people. 20 tennis matches Federer has lost when he has had match points. 20, that's a lot, people. If we compare that with his 2 main rivals, his biggest rivals, Nadal and Djokovic, it's like day and night, people. In this moment, I can remember Djokovic has lost only 2 matches where he has had match points. What I can remember at this moment. He maybe has lost more than 2, but what I can remember for this moment is 2. I remember one match he lost against Cilic in the Queen's finals last year, where Djokovic had a match point. I remember he didn't convert. Cilic saved that match point and then later on won that final. And I can remember one match that Djokovic had match point, or even maybe had 1 or 2 match points he at least had against Rafael Nadal in that 2009 Masters final in Madrid. I remember that match was a big battle. It was a 3-set match, but it was a long match. The match ended in that tiebreak in the 3rd set, and Rafa in the end won that match. They had match points. Both of these guys had match points. They were trading match points. Djokovic had 1 or 2 match points, and Nadal had, of course, match points as well. But in the end, Nadal won that match in that 2009 Masters clay court final in Madrid, I remember. These are the 2 matches that I can remember for the moment that Djokovic has had match point and lost. These are the two matches. Most probably he has lost more than 2, but I can remember only 2. But I know that for sure they have not been 20. That I know for sure. And Nadal, has he lost any matches where he has had match points? Yeah, he has also done that, of course. And what I can remember for this moment, for now, that I can remember, is only 1 that I can remember. It's for sure, it's probably more than 1, but what I can remember for the moment is only 1. And that match I remember was that 2010 Doha final against Davydenko. Nadal had 1 match point in that 2nd set, I remember. Nadal won that 1st set 6-0. I remember Nadal was playing like from another planet, and he baggled Davydenko with 6-0. Then Nadal had, I think, 1 match point in the 2nd set tiebreak. I think that's the 2nd set was a tiebreak. And Davydenko saved that match point and later on won the final as well. This is the only match that I remember Nadal having a match point and losing, in that 2010 Doha final against Davydenko. It most probably have been more, but I can't remember more matches at this moment. If you guys know more matches, you can comment below and tell me. Anyway, number 3rd reason is that Roger Federer is mentally weaker than both Nadal and Djokovic. He's not mentally weak in general, because the guy has won 20 Grand Slam titles and has won 99 tennis titles overall, and most probably has not won his last title in general. I think he will win at some point his 100th title in his career. I don't think that Roger Federer has won his last tennis title. So you cannot say a guy like that is mentally weak. Absolutely not. But he is definitely weaker than his 2 biggest rivals, Djokovic and Nadal. Alright, we go to the 2nd place. This is a big one, people. This is my number 2 reason why Roger Federer has lost so many tennis matches where he has had match points, set points, and why he has not converted many break points. At least he has not converted more break points than Djokovic and Nadal. That's for sure. Is that he has 2 big, not maybe big, you cannot call it big, but he has at least 2 weaknesses. He has more weaknesses than Nadal and Djokovic, and that's why he's losing more tight matches. And those weaknesses are his backhand and his backhand returns. And when the matches becomes tight and close, his opponents are not stupid people. They will serve to Roger Federer's backhand, because they will know that if I serve to Roger Federer's forehand, the chances are big that I'm going to lose the point and lose the match. So when the matches are very close of finishing and Roger Federer has match points and he's not serving, his opponents will serve to Roger Federer's backhand. 10 times of 10 times, people. They will serve to Roger Federer's backhand. Even when the matches are tight, we say when Roger Federer has break points, his opponents will serve to Roger Federer's backhand to save that break point, to come out from the trouble. I can give you one example, guys. I remember that 2008 final, that epic long battle which Nadal won in the end with 3-2. Roger Federer had 13 break points opportunities, people, and Rafa Nadal saved 12 of them. Roger Federer converted only 1. And I remember, people, that match, Rafa Nadal served all those 13 times that he had break point against him on Roger Federer's backhand, and 12 times of 13 Roger Federer he hit the net, or he hit the ball long, the ball went long from the baseline. So 12 of 13 times Nadal saved those break points against Roger Federer, because Roger Federer, how did he save them? Yeah, he saved them because he was serving to Roger Federer's backhand all the time, because he's not stupid, guys. He knows that Roger Federer's backhand returns are much weaker than his forehand returns. And not only Nadal does this. Every player, when they are in trouble, when they are facing break point, when they are in big trouble to lose sets, to lose serve, to lose matches against Federer, they serve to Roger Federer's backhand side all the time. And Nadal, of course, did the same in that 2008 Wimbledon final, and he saved 12 of 13 break points opportunities in this way. Roger Federer converted only one break point of 13 opportunities. Yes, and when the rally is done, if Roger Federer somehow then get the return back on play, his opponents will hammer Roger Federer's backhand. They will not go to Roger Federer's strength and his big arsenal shot, the forehand. No, of course they will not. They will go to Roger Federer's backhand so they can win the point and stay in the match and try to win the match in that way, or try to win the set, or try to save the serve that they are serving. So, the number 2 reason, this is a very high reason, people. This is a very likely reason that why Roger Federer loses so many matches when the matches gets close, when he has match points, why he has lost 20 tennis matches throughout his tennis career, why he doesn't convert as many break points opportunities like Djokovic and Nadal do, is because he has two mainly huge weaknesses, at least more. He has more weaknesses than Nadal and Djokovic, and those 2 weaknesses are his backhand returns and his backhand in general, people, when the rally is on play. All right, that was my number 2nd reason. Now we go to my number 1. This is my undoubtedly number 1 reason, people, why Federer loses so many tennis matches and have lost 20 tennis matches throughout his career where he has had match points, and why he loses a lot of matches where he has set points, and why he doesn't convert as many break points as Nadal and Djokovic does. And number 1 reason to that, people, is Roger Federer has a totally different game style than Djokovic and Nadal. He has not the same game style and Djokovic and Nadal does, people. We all know that. Federer plays much more risky tennis. Federer plays much more offensive tennis. Federer plays first strike tennis. Federer doesn't hang on from the baseline and trades rallies 40-50 over the net, people. That is not his game style, people. He wants to quit. He wants to take that of the points fast, people. His game style is not to grind down his opponents, people. That is more of Nadal's and Djokovic's game style, people. I am not saying that Federer has the same game style as Pete Sampras and Stefan Edberg. Those 2 were more attacking tennis players. They didn't want to stay from the baseline a lot at all. But Federer is more of a between. I will say Federer is between a Sampras and an Agassi kind of player. He is between of those 2 kind of players. He's not a first strike tennis player like Sampras, because Sampras he did go to the net a lot. To say he did go to the net a lot, people. Basically every time he served. Even on the second serves, he went to the net. Federer doesn't play like that. And Federer doesn't play like Agassi either. Agassi almost never go to the net. So Federer is a kind of player between those 2. And that makes that Federer will do much more unforced errors. He definitely does do much more unforced errors than both Djokovic and Nadal. And that's the reason why he plays more risky tennis than both Djokovic and Nadal. And when you play risky tennis, you of course will lose more break points opportunities, lose more set points, and of course you will lose a lot more matches where you have match points. In the end of the day, Federer has much more opportunities in his repertoire, people. he has slice, he can go to the net, he has drop shots. And when this is a huge weapon, this is not a bad thing to have. But when the matches get close, when the matches get tight, when the matches are on the line, if you're gonna lose or if you're gonna win, when the matches will gonna be decided with 1 or 2 points, which player will gonna win, this big repertoire really hurts Federer because he gets confused. It's like to say to a kid, you're gonna go to the store, but you can take only one thing, and it's gonna be the chocolate. The only candy you can take, it's gonna be only the chocolate, nothing else. The kid will not get confused. He's just gonna go to the store and he's gonna take the chocolate. But if you say to the kid, you're gonna go to the store and you can take anything you want. You have a lot of candies there, 50, 60. You can take what you want. The kid will get confused. He will think, oh my God, I don't know what to take. I have difficulties to make my decision. The same thing is with Federer to compare with Nadal and Djokovic. Federer has so much more tools in his bag. He can choose slices. He can choose to go to the net. He can use the drop shot. And when the matches goes tight, when the matches get close, he gets confused. He chooses the wrong decisions, and that has cost him a lot of close matches, people. This problem does not Djokovic and Nadal have, people. They play another tennis to compare with Federer. They will hang on from the baseline and they will hit ball after ball. They will trade and they will trade and they will trade and they will wait till the opponent make unforced errors, or they will wait till they get a really good offensive attack ball, and they can hit the winner and the point. The simple reason is that Djokovic and Nadal does not have as risky tennis style like Federer has, and that's why they have not lost, not even near as many tennis matches where they have had match points, or they have not lost as many matches where they have not converted break points or where they have not converted set points. Federer has lost many more matches and his two main rivals. And I told you guys what's the reason to that. And I gave you my 5 top reasons to that, my friends. This was my 5 top reasons to this. Number 5 was that Federer has that unconsciously cockiness, people. I really believe that. This is the least likely cause, because this is on my bottom place on my list, number 5 list, but it is definitely a reason. It is his unconscious cockiness. Number 4 is that he has been unlucky. His opponents have been played amazingly points in some matches, and one of these matches was that 2011 US Open semifinals against Djokovic. Number 3 is that he's weaker mentally. He gets nervous, people, in big moments. He gets and in my opinion, the nervous thing is it has to do with the head. He gets more nervous than both Djokovic and Nadal. I remember one match that I want to mention is that one against Rafa Nadal in that 2006 Rome Masters final, that epic one. Roger Federer had 2 match points, and those 2 match points, people, he really should convert. He had chances to win those 2 match points. He had chances to hit those match points with his forehand, and he did that, but his forehand unfortunately went long, people. He can do those forehand with his eyes closed, people, but he was nervous. He got tight, and he hit those forehands, both those forehands that he got those 2 match points long, people, way too long from the baseline, and in the end, unfortunately, Nadal, of course, then saved those match points when Roger Federer did those unforced errors with his forehand, and later on Nadal won that epic match in 3-2 in the tiebreak. So he's weaker mentally. Roger Federer is weaker mentally than both Djokovic and Nadal. That was my 3rd place on my list. Now, my 2nd place was that he has more weaknesses than Nadal and Djokovic. He has those weak backhand returns, and he has weaker backhand than both Djokovic and Nadal, in my opinion. And when the matches gets tight, his opponents, of course, will punish Federer's weaknesses. And undoubtedly, my number one reason was that Federer has much more choice to make. He has bigger repertoire than both Djokovic and Nadal. He has a different game style than both Djokovic and Nadal. And when the matches gets tight, Federer gets confused. Federer chooses the wrong tools. Federer makes wrong decisions. And with those wrong decisions, that has cost Federer a lot of matches, 20 tennis matches where he has had match points, and a lot of break points opportunities missed, and a lot of set points where he has made wrong choices because he have been confused, and he has taken the wrong choices in his decisions. So people, that was my take on why Federer has lost 20 tennis matches over his career where he has had match points, and why he has lost a lot of matches where he has had set points, and why he has not converted a lot of break points, etc, etc. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This video has been really long. Has been really long. I apologize for that, but this was a huge topic in my opinion, and I could not make a short video for this. I hope you enjoyed this video, even though it has been 31 minutes long. And I hope you guys take care, and see you next time. Bye bye.